see today, there is no coffee cam, unfortunately. It's a sad thing in this world when we have no coffee cam. All right, so as the title hasn't stated, we are going to be interviewing a former YouTuber, a beat maker. I just found out a website designer. This guy does it all pretty much. And he's a super cool guy. I'm always hopping on his channel, checking his stuff out. He's got some amazing work. If you're into hip hop, rap, beat making, anything that has to do with that genre of music, you got to check him out. One of his recent videos that he just posted was a huge help, I believe, to the Cakewalk community about making, turning your actual keyboard into a MIDI keyboard. Super cool. Might have him maybe go in depth and explain a little bit of that. But we're definitely going to get to know him a little bit better today. If this is your first time here, this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. This is all about taking people's dreams and taking the creation that we have within us, that God-given right, and all of those things that we create. And instead of just doing that alone, we achieve all of that together. And so this is a channel that is specifically geared at helping you make better music and to connect you with people who you can make music with. And we've been doing a pretty cool job of that here lately. The HSS session players list is growing daily. We've got some awesome people on that already that are willing to lay down some tracks for you if you need it. We've got, song contests going on. We've got all kinds of YouTubers that are being brought on here all the time so that I can introduce you to others within this sphere. And so anything and everything that I can do to help you guys, that's what this channel is all about. And along those same lines of helping out, let's give a big shout out to our chart toppers. These are individuals, yet again, the numbers have not been updated because I'm lazy. I got no better excuse, sorry. I could say I didn't have time, but honestly, I'm just lazy. I'll update these numbers soon, but these are the individuals who have helped to sponsor this channel. On the left-hand side, you'll see this black number. This represents the super chat amount that they have given. Of course, like I said, it's not up to date. James has already knocked that out of the park, and I believe Pirate Beats has as well. And then on the right side of these who are on the left, they are Patreon members, and that is their monthly patronage. Thank you guys so much. Every one of you rock. To those of you who have not given yet, you can do that through the super chat feature, or you'd be even more inclined to sign up for the Patreon account. You'll get access to a lot of freebies and multi-tracks you can download and mix, add to your repertoire. I keep saying that word. I don't even know what it means. I better quit saying it. And then add it to your portfolio. That's better. And then from there, we've just got all kinds of cool stuff going on with free downloadable cheat sheets and stuff like that. But without further ado, let's get into our interview with X.E.L. We're going to be bringing him on even now, and I'm going to be playing with some of my really cool buttons right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, X.E.L. Ladies and gentlemen, X.E.L. Oh, right on. X, let me ask you just first, right out of the gate. So, what got you into music making?
Wow. I would say it was my older brother. He actually started rapping when he was younger, and I was like the odd kid out of his group. So I had to prove myself
Mm-hmm.
to them just to see if I can actually even be a part of what they were actually doing. So I actually started out actually doing hip hop. That's how I started out.
Nice.
Mhm.
So, whereabouts are you located, and do you predominantly work out of a home studio, or do you have a studio, or what's that look like on your end?
I have several things. Like I work out of different studios at times, but mostly now I'm at the home studio. This is my little office where I work and I work.
Right.
um, but yeah, I go to Valley of the Kings, which is actually in Dallas, Texas.
Nice. Okay.
Um, uh, Billy Sin is up there, and I also work with an artist named Nadreek. He has a studio out there in Garland. I think it's Garland. Yeah. And those are the kind of the two studios I kind of rotate in and out of uh, out here, as well as my own personal room that I have here.
Nice.
Mhm.
So one of the main reasons why I brought you on the channel, for one, I have stalked your channel for quite a while now, and you have got some amazing workarounds. Your talent is like through the roof. And the way that you approach things is very unique from other people, the way that I've seen that they have approached it. And it seems like to me almost, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me like almost as if you have sort of geared your content and your teaching style towards people who are kind of like just starting out or who don't have a lot of funds to throw around.
That is pretty much it. Like, I kind of base my channel around. I actually used to use FL like all the time, but it comes at a cost. And they have their free trial, and you can kind of make beats on there. But then you actually have to pay for it if you want to save it and do different kind of exports on there. So I realized that a lot of people wanted to do the things that I was doing, but they wanted a cheaper way to do it because they don't have the funds. Like most of these people are from like 18 to 34, somewhere around that range. When I'm looking at my analytics, those are the people that actually come to my page to see what I'm doing. Like, hey, what's this guy doing with this free software? He's got all these free plugins. He's still making good beats.
Right.
So
Right.
I kind of just drawed everybody into the channel so far.
Mark George says, I was the same with FL. So yeah, we've definitely got some individuals here in the chat already that know exactly what you're talking about. So nice
Yeah.
to see you, by the way, Liam. Good to see you, buddy. I think this is your first time around. We got a first timer, folks. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the channel, buddy. So you just recently posted a video that I didn't even know this was possible. Super awesome. I want you to, I mean, obviously you can always, we're going to link back to the video at some point in time.
Mhm.
Which would probably be better for individuals watching. Just go to his channel and check it out. It's one of the more recent videos, but you're going to see a ton more. So rather than just link straight to that one video, I want you to go check out his whole channel. But the approach to this, yet again, it was like another one of those, like for people that don't have money, and can't afford, a control surface or a MIDI keyboard. You actually did a video on how to use your keyboard, like QWERTY
Yep.
keyboard, as a
QWERTY.
MIDI keyboard.
The QWERTY keyboard.
That is awesome. So how did you stumble upon that? How did you figure that out?
I knew it had the feature in there, but no one ever really put it out there like how you can actually use it. I actually joined the Facebook group, and I seen new people coming in, and they're like, "Hey, how do I do this?" And I'm like, "Well, let me look myself and see if I can find it." And there's nothing out there. So I figured since I know how to do it, let me just put it out there, let them see how it's actually done in kind of a step form. Don't just rush them. Hey, it does this. Go read it.
Right.
And I'm a person myself. I'm a hands-on person. I'm not necessarily like a book guy. So like if you give me a piece of equipment, I'm just gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna open the manual and try to read it. I'm gonna say, all right, let's see what this button says play. I guess that does the play. This does record. It says record. So like it's I don't know. I've always been blessed with that gift to kind of understand things as I get it. When I was younger, my father used to buy cars, these like Cadillacs and things like that, and the time would always be wrong. He'd be like, "Go in there and fix it." So I go in there and fix the time, and not knowing anything about it, and he'd like, "I don't know how you do it. You do it."
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that seems like sort of the interwoven thread amongst almost everyone I bring on the channel or just people I interact with. Is it seems like musicians, especially just creatives, maybe even in general, I could even, broaden the scope that way, have this proclivity to just dive in and start doing stuff and figure it out on their own. But kudos to you. The 2 times that I've asked you a question now, you said you went into your analytics, you've analyzed your audience. 2, when you hopped on the chat groups, it wasn't about just like, posting a video, spamming it, and leaving. You actually said, hey, how can I provide value? That's what I love about you. Every time you post a video, you're providing value. You're showing people like, hey, here's how you can do it without a lot of money and how you can get it to sound good. I mean, everything you're doing is like spot on. It's on point, man. I appreciate all that you've been doing. So it looks like Liam Turner in the chat, he says X.E.L's vids on key binding in Cakewalk have saved me weeks! Exclamation point. Nice.
Appreciate it.
Very nice.
I'm glad you guys were able to find the info, man. That's the whole thing about it. I'm here to try to provide as much info as I can, because you can't take it with you. And that's what I've never really understood about like a lot of people that try to keep secrets and hide things. Is like, where are you going to go with it? Like, what is the point of knowing something if you can't help somebody else out with it? It just kind of defeats the purpose.
Exactly. And, and I'm probably going to be categorized a little bit as a Warren Hewart fanboy, but the reason why I love Warren Hewart so much is the fact that he has never held anything back. And when you look at his client base and you look at the people who are following him, those people are following him not just because of who he is, but because of what he provides and the fact that he never holds anything back and everyone is learning something. And that's where, when you get into that mode of thinking, like you just presented so beautifully, when you get into that mode of thinking of, you can't take it with you. And to me, this is just kind of my personal perspective on it, but creativity and music in general has been set on long enough. And it's always usually been held by a few gatekeepers. And these gatekeepers have told people for years what you can and cannot do and how you should do it and the only way that you can do it. And then you get these underdogs, and we come up in the ranks and start sort of shattering those presuppositions and those molds that have been built by those gatekeepers all along. And you start to see like light bulbs coming off on people's eyes, like, I can do this. I don't need $1 million studio. Wait a minute. To your point, like you just posted, I don't need a MIDI keyboard. I've got a keyboard right here. And the comment that I put on your video the other day, and it was hilarious too, because I was just talking about that with one of my clients, and all he kept saying was, I don't have time, and I don't have this, and I don't have. And then you post that video. I'm like, another great, video showcasing that it doesn't matter what you don't have, just use what you do. So very, very awesome. Guys,
that is awesome right there. That is very important, that people actually use what they actually have.
Exactly.
I've known people who have $1 million studios and they have no idea how to run anything in it. And I'm like, why do you have this? No one uses this. Why did you buy it? Right. Oh, this looks nice. Okay, that's great, but you're just wasting money. I never understood that part.
Well, and there was even I just listened to a recent interview on I just had him on here. The Working Class Audio podcast. He just recently released something where this guy was talking about, he's got pieces of gear in his studio that are literally just for clients. Like he said, they look pretty. The clients come in, they see them. They're like, oh, wow, this is a nice studio. And he literally said out of his own mouth, I mean, we're talking like a $6,000 piece of rack mounted gear. He said, I literally have used it twice in 6 years. I'm like, what? Why would you even, to me, that's just, I could think of a lot better things to spend like $6,000 on. And maybe he got it, on a steal of a deal. Maybe he got it for half price. I could think of a lot better things to spend $3,000 on. So if you guys, real quickly, I'm just going to show you, and then we'll hop back onto the Skype session here, but I want to show you real quickly his website because, and this is probably going to blow your mind. It blew mine. I know that. Check this out. So this is X.E.L's website. If you have not been, head over there. I'll post a link to this in the chat right now if you guys want to go and check it out. I would prefer that you'd stay on the live stream that we got going on here for now. If it will, there we go. Anyway, this site, I went over and checked it out. I'm like, man alive, this is like fire. Look at this. He's got places to listen and to buy. He's got a rundown of his services, exactly what he offers. You get into the services. He tells you exactly what you're looking for. If there's anybody that I can honestly say right now that I feel like is doing everything right, it is this guy. Links, you can find everything right here. And then come to find out, the dude made this himself, like designed it, put it together. That's stinking awesome. When he told me that, it's like mind blown. I mean, I put mine together too, but it don't look half as good as that. That's nice.
I wear many hats, many hats.
And so
Father.
that's a great segue actually into that. So along those same lines, like what exactly all are you doing on a daily basis?
I have a family. I have, 2 kids, wife, taking care of the house. I've been working from home lately. That's why I've been able to kind of put out videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a lot of mobile videos because usually what I would do at work is I'd take my iPad and I'd make beats on a lunch break, and I'd record myself making beats on a lunch break and posting those on YouTube. So like I'm always trying to center around music some way, form, or fashion. I'm also a part of like a couple of libraries, trying to get some stuff out there on TV and film. I work with a lot of artists in New York. They actually send me their stuff to mix and master and do beats for them. So I mean, there's a big plate that has to be filled, and of course, the family time is very important because they will get on you. I know you know
Exactly.
that, Rob. Yeah. So so work, and family. So that's basically all I do.
So one of the things that I wanted to point out about this is yet again, the excuse, and I'm going to get kind of preachy here today, guys, but you just have to bear with me. The excuse of I don't have enough money
Hmm.
is kind of thrown out the window already. Like we were just talking about, just use what you have and start making stuff. I literally just listened to a scratch track somebody had sent me on their phone that sounded really good. And it was just simply from their phone. Everyone pretty much has access to a phone. There are
Hmm.
apps right now that I'm thinking about, that even the BandLab app itself, you can make music through that. And all you need is one cable. But then the next biggest complaint that I hear is I don't have time. And I have heard continually, you know, over the past 10 years, this is one of the biggest things that I hear. And they're like, how can you fix this? You make tutorials on this and this and that. And to be honest, I tell people, I'm like, really, that's up to you, because I can give you some tips and some pointers on, where to squeeze some time in at, but you probably won't do it anyway. So
Yeah.
the main thing is you have to put your priorities where your priorities are. And like from what X.E.L was just saying, he's got a family, he's got a full-time job like myself, and he's
Mhm.
got his side hustle like myself. And so a lot of people have asked me even, like, how do you get all that done? You have to make time. You have to block it out. You have to figure out, okay, I got 2 hours here. I've got an hour
Yep.
here, and just start. Like, if it's really that important to you to make a living off of what you love,
You'll do it.
you
Yeah.
will make time for it. So
Yep.
along those same lines, I noticed that you're selling beats here on your site.
Yes.
Is that the main place they need to go if they're looking to buy beats from you?
Yeah. You can go there to purchase beats. I mean, I have a BeatStars page, but I don't really post there much. And also I have an Airbit, which is what a lot of people actually use. I actually did it so I can learn how to do it. So like almost everything I do it so I can learn how to do it. Because someone along the lines will ask me, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do it." That's I don't know. It's like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing that I have going on.
Right.
Because I design my own merch. I do the graphics for me and other people. I do the mixing for people. I do the mastering. I do step by step with them, like over not over Skype, but over like Zoom and Google Hangouts. I'll help them try to set things up and get things right. Um, I, I I don't know. It's just one of those things that I love doing, man. I love helping people, and that's why everything like on my site, I just kind of just give it away as free information. And the funny thing about it is that the majority of people that'll actually see it won't actually use it. And
Yeah.
that's that's a given. That's a fact that is actually out there. Like I've watched so many different videos. Like I learned from you guys. I love your channel. I love
Well, thank you. I
Creative
appreciate that.
Source. I
Hmm.
like Bongonzo and 80K Studios. Like those two guys are the reasons I actually started doing stuff in Cakewalk, because I was strictly FL for my beats, and Cakewalk was just for if I'm recording people or if I'm mixing and mastering. That's all I did Cakewalk for. And then I seen them making beats, and I was like, oh, you can make beats in here. Let's try this out, and I started figuring it out, just going step by step through it.
Well, I have to give Bongonzo a shout out myself because he's the one that turned me on to you. I was
Oh,
actually on one of his live streams and he was like, "You've got to check out X Dot." And I was
mhm.
like, "Who's this guy?" He's like, "Go check his channel out. Get back with me. You'll thank me later." So I go and I check your channel and I'm like, "What?" So,
Oh yeah.
well, I'm glad that you decided to migrate over to Cakewalk because, and I'll be the first to admit and have said on this channel numerous times, I'm more of a real instrument kind of guy. If you
Hmm.
want to know how to record an acoustic guitar or how to get some great sounding electric guitars, that's my forte. And mixing and mastering those real instruments is great. I love mixing and mastering beats as well, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to working with loop based material, making beats and cranking out, you guys are like wizards in that area. And so I'll be the first to say, like, that's not my forte. So what I try to
Hmm.
do from my aspect on my channel is bring on people who can. So maybe
Right.
if that's a weak area that I'm weak in, I can at least lead them to an area where they can still get help. And man, you just said it like spot on too. And that's another reason why I wanted to bring you on. Everybody that I bring on this channel, guys, for those of you that are watching or for those of you that maybe be doing a replay, I don't just like, oh, that person, has got a cool video. I always, because my value proposition to you guys is to provide value, not just from me. It's to
Hmm.
create a community. And so when I watch his videos and, it's probably been about 2 to 3 months that I've really been kind of stalking his channel, watching his videos, making sure like, is this going to be a good fit for my audience? And of course, like every single time he posts. And so for those of you who are watching now, or maybe you're watching on a replay, go and subscribe to this guy's channel. I am fully endorsing him. He is shameless promotion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I am fully endorsing him. Not only is his channel clean and he is really just on point with his tutorials, leading you step by step, but like he just said out of his own mouth, and as a man's heart is, so the mouth will speak. Whenever he said it, I felt it. It's real. He really does want to help you guys. So that's the kind of people that I want to put in front of you. I'm not really too concerned about bringing somebody on the channel that might have 300,000 subscribers and might get me a bunch of subscribers by bringing them on here, and just for them to say you're all stupid, you don't have an SSL console because you don't have enough money, you don't have enough time, just send your work to me. That's pointless. Why would I do that? So
Yeah.
when I bring people on like X Dot and others, that's the reason why they're coming on this channel. So thank you so much, man, for your contribution to Cakewalk, for the community, and for beat making. This is like, it's been exploding the past couple of years, especially. I've got
Oh
more
yeah.
clients coming to me now more than ever. Like, hey, so I'm going to start sending some your way. Um, if I get any more, that is, because I've been turning down so many. They're probably like, oh no. But yeah, if anybody that comes my way, I'll be sending them your way, man.
No problem, man. I appreciate it. I've been working on so many different things. I actually just released a video today that I had because I realized I just reached 400 subscribers. So I was like, let me just give something
Yay.
away. Yeah, thank you. So I did what is it? Two themes that I've been using. Like I'm getting a lot of comments on the theme that I've been using. So I was like, let me just kind of put it out there. So I put out a light one and a dark version. So if you do go to the latest video that I just released, it'll say two themes for Cakewalk, and it's a free download. It's not any kind of charge, anything like that for you guys. Just appreciation for reaching that 400 mark that I'm at right now.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even know about the themes either. Like they know that you can go in there and, change the stock themes, but you can
Yeah.
actually create your own themes. And that's the cool thing about that is too. I started to find out shortly after, um, the I forget what year it was that they actually included that template designer thing. I was like, this is nuts, because it was already like one of the most customizable DAWs on the market. I mean, you can customize everything on it,
Everything.
and now you can actually customize your theme as well. I was like, what? So
I think that's the draw to Cakewalk for me. Really, it's like the customization. I can make it look like anything I want to. That's what makes it awesome. Like I can make it look like Logic. I can make it
mhm.
look like Pro Tools. I can make it look like Ableton. So it's just like you, however you're comfortable actually making things now. If you actually get Cakewalk, you can actually make it look that way and have a flow that way as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've just posted a link to that video that he was talking about in the chat, guys. So go over there and check that out. And I do see in the description of the video, yes, he does have 2 free themes. So very cool.
Yeah. 2 free themes. Just for you guys, just for, like I said, the support that I've been getting for these last couple months. I think it's only been like 2 months or so I've been messing with a Cakewalk and actually
Well,
posting videos. Yeah.
you've definitely been cranking out some awesome content. You're up to 434 subscribers today. So congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome. And I'll tell you what I tell a lot of people too, which I don't think you're going to be like that, but don't get caught up so much in the subscriber counts,
Oh,
because I was like so caught up in the subscriber counts at first, so much that I got to the point where I was creating content just for the algorithm. And I was like, and that's been 5-6 years ago, and was getting no traction. I was thinking I'm doing everything right. And I was like, no, I'm not. I had to come to that, come to Jesus moment. I was like, wait a minute, well, who am I even helping?
Yeah, I think that's what happened to me as well. Because I started my YouTube channel to kind of do the beats things, to try to sell beats online, putting out beats like every week, a link and everything. Hey, new beats is up. And I realized that I wasn't helping anybody. So it wasn't helping me. So as that in turn into no subscribers, no real views, no anything. So as soon as I started saying, you know what, I need to actually help people, that's when you start seeing that turn in actually what you're doing, and it happens all through my actual lifestyle now and everything. So every time I'm actually helping, more things happen. A lot of people don't realize that, but the more you do for others, the more you actually get back.
It's almost like there was this guy about 2,000 years ago that said something similar to that. He's the only perfect guy that ever walked the earth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's that law of sowing and reaping, brother. I'm telling you, when you sow goodness, you'll reap it. And so, once again, man, I just can't thank you enough for all that you've been doing. And I want to also ask you as well. So I've asked you like how you got into music,
Mhm.
but who are your musical, like who inspires you?
Mm. Um, that's a good one. I mean, there's a lot of different inspirations for different time periods in my life. Like it's growing up, it was like, the Michael Jackson, Prince kind of thing. Um, Real big, Stevie Wonder, a lot of the Motown stuff, because
Oh
that's what my
yeah.
family listened to.
Oh yeah.
That's all we did. And then, I came of age and started listening to hip hop after my brother. And, there was the KRS Ones, the Rakims, Big Daddy Kanes. And it's like, oh, these guys are really cool. And then you find out, there's the Tupacs and the Biggies. And from there, you're like, hey, I kind of want to do what they're doing, because they're actually telling what's going on around them in their environment. And that's what a lot of people didn't understand about rap even back then. And you had your Public Enemy telling you, hey, these are the things that's actually going on in our neighborhoods. But people didn't see it that way. They say, oh, they're just talking about violence and guns. But that's what they saw. That's all they knew.
Right.
So that's what they portrayed in the music itself. And me coming from where I was from, I lived in a building in Brooklyn. I'm actually born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, Crown Heights. So I was around all those things, and people doing graffiti and breakdancing, carrying the big boom box on their shoulders to the park.
Right.
Uh, playing basketball and Skelly. Like those are the things that we knew. We also knew when someone had some kind of like weapons or something on them. It's time to go home. Like it's just one of those things that we had to experience in our life. Um, and I'm glad that I actually made it out there, and had good grades. Was able to go to college for a couple of years and experience life and experience music. Going to different studios in Manhattan, like those were the days. Going around shopping at labels, trying to get someone to sign us. I had like a group back in the day. They were trying to get signed. Then I was like, you know what? I just want to just make the music, be behind the scenes. So I linked up with a whole bunch of different artists out there. They still contact me to this day. And yeah, it's just been a roller coaster ride. But right now I'm actually in Texas. I'm in like Fort Worth, Dallas area in Texas. I decided to move to Texas to live life a little easier,
Yeah.
and it's been a lot better. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. I know that several of those artists that you just brought up was that was some of the music that I grew up on as well.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, especially parents, just did not understand, these lyrics. They're
Yes.
crazy. Um, and when you tried to explain it to them, like you just did so eloquently, it's like they still didn't get it because there was always like this disconnect. When
Yes.
you live in a rural suburban area, and the worst thing that happens is someone spray painted the stop sign again. I can't believe that. And
Oh, it was Timmy.
yeah,
Timmy had to do.
it was little Timmy that everyone knows.
Hmm.
So we all know he's the bad kid. But when you really stop and take sort of a step back and look at that era of music, and it did so much though for that culture, I think, just in the sense of being an out. And that's one of the things that I always will, if I have a student that comes to me that wants to learn guitar, one of the first things I sit down and tell them is this is about more than just learning an instrument. It's about more than picking up chicks. It's about more, this is a therapeutic tool. And that music during that era, Tupac and all that was therapeutic. And see, like
Hmm.
people didn't see it that way. They thought it as they're projecting anger. All they were doing was venting, trying to get that
Hmm.
out instead of taking it out on other people.
Yep.
They put it through their music. And so those are definitely some roots you got there, man. Definitely some stuff to pull from. And I think honestly, if we were all honest with ourselves, we would definitely say, like if we let the music that we listen to dictate our lives whenever we were growing up, we would probably be in a lot worse state. But sometimes it's the fact that you have to know both sides of the spectrum. Like you can't turn a blind eye to hatred and violence and racism. You have to like look at it, stare it in the face and say, it's real, but I'm not buying it.
Hmm.
I can choose to live differently. And so, and yeah, you just like opened up a whole, I'm getting all philosophical now, but, so definitely some good musical influences, from the past. Who would definitely who would you say is inspiring you like right now at this moment?
I'd probably say it kind of matters. Like if we're talking about like beats, because I'm a beat maker right now. It would be like those like Premiere was like always one of my favorite producers because he real heavy sample bass producer. I love Just Blaze. That's like those two are like my top tier guys. Then you have like your Timbalands. He still kind of inspires. But like artist wise, I really like Jay-Z. I think he has that thing that a lot of other artists don't have. Like he has that ability to go in any direction,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of artists are like one dimensional. Like I would say like a Rick Ross. You know what you're gonna get when you actually hear his stuff. Whereas Jay-Z, you can do club, he can do party, he can do chick songs, he can do radio songs, and then he can also do street songs. So it's like the versatility in his music makes him like one of the greatest to me. So that's one of the people I definitely look up to.
So that brings up a good question. Then I'd like to ask, for those of you who are aspiring beat makers, do you think it's better to sort of like find your niche, find your groove, and kind of like travel down that path alone? Or is it better to be like a Jay-Z and kind of expand your horizons and try to meet all the needs of everyone involved?
That's a good question. Because right now everything is about a niche. So I mean, like it's kind of hard to really do that now. Because you're kind of known for what you're known for. Like I can't see the old time road guy, doing a hard hip hop song.
Right.
I just can't see it. Like it just doesn't. It wouldn't make sense to me. And I know a couple people in New York that actually are doing like the drill music kind of thing, and they came out with a song that's more of a party song, and then the next song they tried to release was like more of a street song and hard, and no one gravitated toward it. And I'm like, you can't really switch the way they used to back in the day. Like it's like you're gonna choose a lane, you're gonna just drive down that lane. And it's almost like Florida.
Right.
uh, I don't know what it is about Florida, but like it's like this one road that just keeps going. You can't really turn or detour. There's nowhere else to go but that one road. So that's kind of how I see it now. I don't know if anybody in the chat sees it a different way.
Yeah, by the way, if you're in the chat and you would like to personally ask X Dot a question, go ahead and drop that in the chat. I'm watching those as we're talking here. So if you guys have a question, feel free to ask. Liam D. Turner says, angry music let me not be angry as a kid. He says,
Yeah.
my mom took away my body count tape.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I could see that.
Mark George says, thank you, X. And then he says, he does have a question. Okay. So he says, how do I get around an issue I have? I want to record vocals on a song. I own a Sennheiser condenser mic, and I bought an XLR to USB cable, but it's not working. I can't afford an interface. So I think your problem there is if you have an XLR to USB cable, but you don't have a way to provide phantom power to the condenser mic, it's not going to work. So you'll have to find a good USB mic, which there's plenty of them out there. I would recommend the Blue line. Even the Blue Yeti, if you're just starting out, is a very cheap mic. It's affordable, I should say. But it can get some really good sounds. There's a lot of great XLR based microphones, or just get a dynamic microphone, and then you don't have to have the phantom power it. So great question.
Either way, it sounds like you might have to spin a little bit just to get what you want.
Yeah. Which
the interfaces aren't that much anymore either.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. With the cost of the Sennheiser mic, you could probably honestly sell the mic and get you another mic and the interface if it was one of their higher end ones, because those are pretty pricey. So.
Oh yeah.
Liam just commenting more about your. Oh, that was earlier. Now that it saved you weeks. Wind Chime Studio says, I use a Yeti and I like it. Mark George says, my angry music was always symphonic metal. Nice.
Oh yeah. Metal was always interesting to me. Like the loudness of it was just beyond my ears. Like I couldn't take it. I was just one. And I listened to like almost everything, but the metal thing was like really. I guess I'm a person I like to kind of understand what they're saying, and most of the time when they're screaming, I just couldn't understand it. So it was like a little distance for me.
Yeah, I was in a couple of metal bands growing up, and we had a little bit of success, but it wasn't much. And when I hit about 16, 17, I was introduced to, believe it or not, I went from like heavy metal like Sepultura, Pantera, Marilyn Manson style type stuff. And then someone said, hey, have you ever listened to Fish? And I was like, who in the world's Fish? So they turned me on to Fish, and I'm like, ooh, listen to that guy's guitar tone, man. He is just one song lasts 15 minutes. Wait a minute, this is cool. So when I started getting into that side of things, I was like, wow, there's like real musicality here. Like, and although some of Fish's songs don't even make sense, a lot it's geared towards like one group of people that don't care if it makes sense. Um, I was like, wow, this is cool. So that opened up a whole new world for like the Grateful Dead and the Doors and some of the older music that I had neglected.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I metal and country are just two of my no-nos, which is weird because I love Southern gospel. But Jeremiah Peterson actually has a question. He says, and this is definitely directed toward X Dot. He says, as someone interested in possibly getting into the market on selling beats, what criteria do you use to set the rates?
It kind of matters what road you want to go down. There's an avenue to where you can actually have a bundle of beats together, kind of thing, to where you can do what they call like a tunnel, where you can actually do a funnel. I'm sorry, a funnel where you can actually send people to a site and be like, hey, you get this one free beat, and then below it, like, hey, but you can get 25 beats for $25. You can do that route. A lot of people have been successful doing that. I personally, I don't do it that way. I just set mine to like a kind of a market kind of value. Like if you go to BeatStars or Airbit, usually the prices are usually from like $20 to $30. Unless you're like a big person over there, then you're probably doing like $50 for just a lease. And if you want to do like exclusives with people, you just kind of set your prices to where you feel that you deserve for the beat. There's people that sell theirs for 100. There's people that sell them for 1,000. So it just kind of matters where you feel you are in your beat production to how you want to sell it. I hope that answered some of that question.
Awesome. So that actually brings up a question that I had too, because I've got a local artist here who is wanting to get into beat making, and he was wondering about how does the leasing, how does that work?
All right. So you can set your lease to where you can have it for a certain amount of time, or you can have it kind of for like an infinity kind of thing. But you want it to be to where other people can actually purchase the same exact beat. That's basically what the lease does. It gives you an option to actually sell that one beat to more than one person. Unless they're buying exclusive rights, then you usually take down that lease beat, and it's no longer available to actually purchase. So that's what the lease was actually made for. That's why a lot of people gravitated toward the lease, because it's actually cheaper, and they didn't really care if anybody else got on the same beat. So that's why the lease was so popular now, that everybody says, yeah, I'm going to lease a beat. But it's not how a lot of the older school, I guess I should say, people thought that it should go. They believe that you should just pay for the beat up front for however much you are charging for the beat, and just leave it at that. But a lot of people nowadays feel that they don't want to pay 10 grand for a beat, or $20,000 for a beat like it used to be. So they rather just say, hey, all right, so I'm gonna get this beat, I'm gonna see what it does, and if it does great, then we'll purchase the beat for whatever the full price is. If it doesn't do good, then I didn't lose all my money on this beat that I just purchased. So that was like the purpose of the lease, and why a lot of people actually gravitate toward it.
Okay, so that makes sense. So if someone was to purchase a lease then, and let's say someone else purchased the same beat,
Mm-hmm.
and then they made a number one hit song with that beat.
Right.
So what kind of copyright stuff would you run into with that?
You wouldn't necessarily, because most leases, they don't let you actually do like a copyright, basically. Like you can use the beat, you can use it for a certain amount of sales, a certain amount of time. But if someone actually does the exclusive, they actually have the right to the beat itself.
Ah,
So
okay.
so that other person no longer has the rights to the beat. I mean, they can still even have it in their copyright, but they still don't really own the beat, because the producer still owns the beat. Like I would still own the beat even if you bought a lease, or even if you just purchased the beat for exclusively. I still own the beat because it's my property, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Mhm.
Jeremiah Peterson says, yes, thank you. You have answered this question. Good deal. Mark George says it's a real old mic. Well, in that case, Mark, what you might have to do is you just might have to either save up a little bit and get you a dynamic, which they're not that expensive. You can find an SM58 on eBay all day long for $98. And if you're just wanting to record some good vocals at home, it's a dynamic mic. You can plug it in with a USB. There's all kinds of studios that use SM58s all day long. In fact, they're considered one of the most roadworthy microphones as well. They've actually built stages with SM58s and then handed it to the vocalist, and he sung an entire set with that same microphone. So that's definitely an option there. I don't see any more questions necessarily popping into the chat as of right now. So we are going to go ahead and... Oh, wait a minute. Nope. He says, thanks for the answers. Okay. Well, X. I really appreciate you coming on. I want to have you on the channel again in the near future. I would like to actually get you on to where you could showcase some of your work for us. Would that be cool?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Awesome. So I'll give you plenty of time to prepare that. I'm strapped for time myself right now. I got a lot of I've got school going on. I've got a full-blown Cakewalk tutorial course that's getting ready to come out. I've got work full-time, that whole 9 yards. But so you do have time, definitely. But I want you to think about maybe something that you could put together to come on the channel. And what I would like for you to do is just be you. Just come on and do your thing. And and then what we could probably do from there, just going forward, is we could both take essentially that same beat that you made while you were here on the channel, maybe do like a live beat or something like that. And then both of us take that same beat, both of us mix it, master it, and then we'll come back on for another round and we'll listen to them back to back. I would love to see your take on a beat versus my take. That would be awesome. So it would be like a beat maker's mix versus songwriter's mix. I think that would be cool. So,
yeah, that would be pretty interesting.
Well, man, I greatly appreciate you coming on. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your spirit and your attitude. Love your channel. Keep up the great work. Keep helping people. And definitely looking forward to seeing more of you around here.
Oh, yeah. And I appreciate you guys too, man. Like I said, without you guys, I don't think I would be doing half the things I've been doing. Just because you guys, your channel, when I sit there and watch it, I was like, man, this guy is so in depth and detail. He's going slow. I can understand everything he's saying. I can actually do it while he's actually telling me how to do it. And I was like, this is what I need to be doing.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So you and Creative Souls, Mike is awesome. He's a real good one too.
Well, man, I'm going to go ahead and let you get back to the fam life, and I'm going to get ready to sign off here myself. I'm going to give a few parting words for my audience, but until then, stay blessed, brother. Love you. Keep up the great work, man.
Thank you. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was incredibly awesome. Love that guy. Man, he has got so many great things happening over there on his channel. You got to check him out. Like I said, if you have not, you're missing out. It's honestly, it's your fault. If you haven't checked his stuff out yet, you're missing out. Along those same lines, definitely go over and subscribe to his channel. And I'm not just saying that because he owes me any favors or anything like that. I'm telling you because you're going to get something out of his channel if you go and you watch. And like I've already said on this stream, on numerous streams before, my entire intention on this channel is to help you get as good as you possibly can. And if you're making beats or you're working with loop-based material, I'm not going to be able to help you as much as some of these other individuals like Bon Gonzo and himself, X.E.L, and I'm going to try to bring on some others here shortly. What's going on there? What is that? I got something floating above my head and don't even know where it is. What is that? Oh, it's the Skype thing that's still open. Okay. Anywho, definitely go and check his channel out. Subscribe to the guy. He's awesome. I just realized you can see my fan right here. It's like smoking hot in this room. We had to take a air conditioning unit out. I would also ask you guys to keep my family in your prayers. We are currently, this is our last weekend with Curly, also known as Charlotte, our studio cat. We got word back from the vet that she is officially in the final stages of kidney failure. And so there's really nothing that we can do. We have to actually go and have her put down. And all of us are deeply saddened. My son is more tore up, I think, than any of us. But she's a part of the family. She's just been a part of everything that we've ever done for the last years. And we're going to greatly miss her. And so just keep us in your prayers. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to try my best to help console my son, especially, and my wife and myself. But if any of you have ever had pets and you know how much they mean to you, and so this is definitely going to be a hard time. So like I said, just keep us in your prayers. We greatly appreciate anything that you would send our way. As far as hugs or love or prayers or anything like that, we greatly appreciate it. So, all right, guys. Well, until next time, remember that this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. We can dream alone. We can create alone. But together, we can achieve so much more. Thanks, guys.